ever, but I had no idea that the line of work that I'm in, the part of real estate investing is called wholesaling, that existed. So, I got into it because I became an entrepreneur in 2010. And 2014 is when I started real estate investing. And it was this guy, I'd been on a mailing list for quite a long time since being an entrepreneur. And the headline of the email, never opened any of his emails, but this one said, I'm going to be interviewing this real estate investor who got started with none of his own money and really bad credit. And having been an entrepreneur for 4 years, coming out of the corporate world, my credit was now shot because I took all these chances and did all these things. So I was like, oh, that's right up my alley. Yeah. Oh, well, you know, honestly speaking, I failed lots of times, lots of times. And one of my mentors always said, you're just not going to look pretty when you're learning. And it did not look pretty for a long time. But I think it's important. I'm not going to say that it's just me because of my character and, how strong I am internally. That's not why. I think it's really important to surround yourself with people, other people who can be your cheerleaders because you're going to be down in the dumps someday.
Hmm.
And you're going to need somebody else to help you see what you're not seeing, to help you move forward a little bit more. And I have that, which I'm really grateful for. No, my daughter and I just did a flash mob
Are
before
you
this.
serious?
So she's
I've
5.
never met
I
anyone who's actually done one in real life.
Okay, you're so cool.
no.
I just
Well,
want
we did one at home, right? So she's into the song they play at school now, DJ Rossi, and it's a really like hyped up version of Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes. And I actually like it too. I'm like, I will go out on the street and do this. It's like sing this and this, and then head, shoulders, knees and toes, tap your head. So yeah, we did that just before this. So I don't even have to go back far in my memory or imagine because I just did it about 15 minutes before. Look,
Oh, that's
I I do miss the food. The food is getting better here, but it's not New York. So one of the reasons I left is because I was coming out of the subway one day and I going to my office and I just wanted to see the sun and the sky and I looked up and all I could see was skyscrapers and I was like, I need more space. Um, and that was the beginning of my mentally moving out of the area. Um, so it's been a while. I still, of course, my parents still live there in New York, and I go back periodically to see them, but I do not miss things being so close, to me. The biggest thing was, well, he married his wife shortly thereafter. So I'm like, wait, did he not serve any prison time? And where did all these feelings about wanting to murder someone go? But yeah, you never know what a person's background is.
see my
Some
first question.
I have so many
Wait, my first
questions.
question is in what context? Because sometimes it's good because there's a good reason for things sometimes. I don't know.
So according to the story I read, because there was a news article about it. The guy, he was 18 years old. It was somebody that his parents knew, and he knew the guy had money. So he left from wherever he lived in Massachusetts and went to Boston for the singular purpose of robbing and killing this guy, so he can get access to money. My husband and daughter and I, we went to take Saturday afternoon drives when we were just driving through this other part of our neighborhood, and I was like, oh, this person, their house, their gutters are falling off. They need to really fix that. He's like, no, sweetie, nobody lives there. I was like, oh, well, in which case, let me look up this guy and call him and see if he wants to sell us his house. So my husband is a business partner. Um, I did the research and I'm calling, nobody's answering the phone. Meanwhile, the Washington Post is being delivered. The chimney is still smoking. The front light's on. Chimney gotta live there. So I decided to go back to the neighborhood and I saw a neighbor outside and I was talking to her and I was like, yeah, I'm calling this guy. I'm not even sure if he's alive. She's like, well, he's no longer alive. They came and brought him last Thursday. I was like, what do you mean got him? Oh, yes, they came and picked up his body because. So he'd been in there about 2 months. My friend and JV partner, or would have been JV partner, he called me up and he's like, yeah, I went to take a look at the property and um, I saw you had a gun closet downstairs, but it's completely empty. But I was looking around and I found this handgun. It was on the sofa or in the sofa. He's like, yeah, I had to dig down a little bit. It was a little mushy and wet. I was like, it was what?
Is it
Like, that happened to be the sofa where the guy died and sat for 2 months. And he's like, yeah, I was like, you couldn't have left that gun there. you really need a flashlight because the house is dirty and filled with stuff. So I'm in there downstairs, like looking for this water bill, and all of a sudden I hear my partner upstairs scream. He's like, "Yeah!" I'm like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" So I run upstairs. Turns out the woman had sort of like a 3 or 4 foot Marilyn Monroe doll, and it had a foot pedal, and he stepped on it by accident. He didn't know, and so it started singing "Happy Birthday."
I mean, there are worse
And
things.
this is guy, he's got tattoos down his neck and everything, and he's wake up call to me because, I really wanted to help people, but I was dragging these calls, and it's because I have to like drag these people along through their sessions, and I didn't want to do that anymore.
Mhm.
So I made the transition. But the funny thing is, and why I say I am so coach because it is who I am, and the conversations that I have with people in real estate, and I think women approach this differently when we're talking to people who need to work out some sort of problem with their home. We approach things differently, and as a coach, I approach it differently. So when I talk to people, we rarely ever talk about the house. It's what is going on in your life that's creating this problem, and the house is just a symptom
Mhm.
of it.